Hello everyone, this is the GamePro24X, and before I start the video, I want to do a quick weapon PSA. So it seems that there has been higher grade weapons released today, and the weapons are the grade 10 Brennan. And the interesting note about that is it comes with a medium grade suppressor, so if you build this, you'll be able to give that suppressor to any of your Brennans, so that's pretty interesting. We also have a grade 9 E-stun decoy that only increases the range, a grade 10 MRS4R, and we finally get the 10 grade suits, such as the battle dress, the sneaking suit, the ground zero sneaking suit, and of course the DLC sneaking suit. I'm not sure if there's anything else that I missed, but those are the ones that stuck out to me. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the main topic of this video. So back in May, on the news feed of the Metal Gear Solid 5 website, we got a little preview of what's to come when it comes to brand new weapons. But the thing is that the weapons aren't just limited to this. We actually do get some legit brand new weapons that nobody has actually seen before here and there. And I'm going to go ahead and just quickly discuss the history of when each weapon was released and my predictions for the possible future of other weapons and such for this game. Now, something that should be known about these weapons is that I don't have it here, but on the very, very bottom of that weapon list that I just showed you, there is a little tiny disclaimer, and it does read as follows. All these weapons will be released one by one after maintenance time. And initially, we all thought that every event that's over, since the game technically goes into a maintenance mode after every event, we assumed it would be that. But that wasn't the case. We then later found out that these weapons are slowly being released every 3 months. And every 3 months, we have a quote unquote big update, I guess is how you want to call it. Because the last two big updates were actually pretty big. They added new features and new things to the actual base game that weren't there from the beginning. So the first big update was obviously in May when we got the announcement. And during that month, we got the Tornado 6 and the grade 9 suits. So with the suits, they're supposed to range from grade 9 all the way up to 11. So, as I mentioned, May 10th is when the first grade 9 suits appeared, and it hasn't been any ever since. At least not until today. On August 2nd, we got another two weapons from another big update, and they are the battery draining UA drones and the FOM decoy mine, or decoy grenade, I should say. And 3 months after that, on November 8th, well, we didn't really get much of an update. In all honesty, this was actually a really tiny big update because all we got was just two new weapons, and then that's it. We didn't get any new features, we didn't get anything big or extravagant. And those two weapons are the non lethal LMG and this brand new item, which is the Trank Pill. So the only things left on this list are the grade 11 suits, the grade 10 and 11 UA drones, and obviously the Fulton launcher. But if you were paying attention, you would notice that there was a very slight deviation to the usual schedule of these released weapons. If you noticed, every big event or big update, we would always get two items from this list. And on November 8th, we only got one item and one completely brand new one. So if there is one odd and apparent thing that Konami has been doing lately is their consistency. There are times when during the big update, we would get the brand new weapons along with other higher grade versions of other weapons. And then there are times when just weapons are just added out of the blue, out of nowhere, no prompt or anything. And as you can see right now, today was one of those days where we just get a lot of weapons out of nowhere, and we're like, well, why? It would have been a little bit more fitting if they added all these weapons the same day with the non lethal LMG, because at least it would give players more of an idea of what they can strive and achieve. But On the other hand, it's not exactly a bad idea to hold back and possibly release higher grade weapons every month, because then at least you know every month when you come back there's going to be something a little bit fresh and a little bit new. But again, their lack of consistency doesn't exactly prove that they keep up with that. As I mentioned, there are times when they just add a weapon and then it'll be 2 months of nothing, and then you get something, and then like a week or two later you get something else, and it's like, well, what the fuck? So they really are lacking when it comes to consistency. Alright, time to go over some of my possible predictions of the future of Metal Gear Solid 5 when it comes to its content and weapons and such. So, the first thing that might happen is the Fulton Launcher gets released in March, along with other high grade weapons. That one's self explanatory, they're going down the list, and like I said, it is the final weapon in the entire list that has not been released yet every 3 months. So, it is highly possible that they're going to go that route because, well, it just follows a particular order. The next prediction is if they don't do that, they'll probably release everything under the sun and then finally release the Fulton launcher after waiting a year or even more for it. And honestly, I hope they don't go that route because, like I said, everybody has been waiting patiently. The list has now dwindled down to that final weapon, and if in March they do pull something where it's like, oh, here's the grade 11 suit and here's the grade 10 UA drone and no Fulton launcher, I'm pretty sure the community will be fucking pissed because it's just not going with how they've been doing it this entire time. They would always release at least a brand new weapon from that list along with other goodies. So this one doesn't really seem to be likely, but then again, you don't want to leave anything to chance to Konami because they'll try to milk as much as possible from this game and try to leave you hanging and leave you hoping. That way you have a reason to come back and play every single week or so. So I wouldn't put it past me if that is a potential route that they take. The next possible route they can take is with the upcoming game Metal Gear Survive, they might be way too busy maintaining that game to further update Metal Gear Solid 5 or keep up to date with all of its weapon releases and all that. So the full launcher and all the other weapons that could come out will be a lot more delayed because they don't want to divide up the staff or who knows. But if that is a possible route that they take, then that's going to really, really piss off the community as well. And the last one, and I swear to God they don't do this, somehow, some way, Metal Gear Survive is tied to unlocking the Fulton launcher. Now, this one is just pretty far out of the ballpark because, the Fulton launcher was announced in Metal Gear Solid 5, and it shouldn't have anything to do with Metal Gear Survive. But again, you don't ever want to leave to chance what companies do, especially what companies like Konami will do, just to try to get more money out of you, just so you can get what you finally want. And the way how they've been delaying the Fulton launcher release, it better be fucking good. And I understand that there's a YouTube video out there that demonstrates what it can do, but in all honesty, the only way you could get that weapon right now is hacking the game files and getting it. And I wouldn't exactly trust a hacked weapon to perform as well as an official released weapon. So, I'm not really paying attention to videos like that. I will, I think everyone should assess and judge the weapon when it's actually legitimately released. Because who knows, they might actually change something in the weapon itself when it releases. So, yeah, I really hope that option D is not something that they're going to go with. Because that's it. The entire fucking game is done. I think a lot of people will just leave because I know I and a lot of other people are personally just waiting for the Fulton launcher just to run around with it. And if we're denied that because we need to go buy Metal Gear Survive or some bullshit like that, then no, fuck that. Like, I know I'm gonna buy Metal Gear Survive, but still though, that is just really low and really shitty to push on the community. So again, very, very, very unlikely. But then again, it's Konami, so don't underestimate them. Now, with all that aside, it looks like Konami does have a plan for more future content, because as you can check in your iDroid right now, the grades can go all the way up to 15. Now, there is no weapon right now that can go up to grade 15 or even past 10, but it is there. Like the option to scroll all the way up to 15 is there. So there is a strong possibility that they are going to keep adding new stuff periodically. But again, that all that could change because Metal Gear Survive is out and they're focusing on that. So we're gonna have to wait and see for that. But to those of you who are just who are not really in the loop, I hope this video has shed some light on the situation and what's going on. And yes, the Fulton Launcher is the last weapon in that list of new weapons that has not been released yet. And again, I just hope that option A is going to be the route that Konami takes with it and not everything else. And who knows, they might actually release even more weapons after that, like even more unique and different weapons. Hell, I think I'm going to make another video about possible weapons that could be made pretty easily that wouldn't be too hard to implement in this game, that I wouldn't mind waiting and grinding to, achieve and play with. That way, Konami has, some idea of what the player base wants. Because I do find it strange how a few days ago during my Skulls Attack stream, I did mention about higher grade suits. And then now all of a sudden today we have higher grade suits. Like, I'm not saying they're ever paying attention to me because I don't ever really think that. But there have been a lot of times where I would mention something in a stream about an issue I have with the game or something I wish was added. And, like a month later or so, something new is added that actually does correct a lot of the mistakes I pointed out. So who knows? I don't know. So I know this video wasn't really too big of a deal or something really interesting, but who knows? There's a lot of people that don't really know what's going on with the weapon releases and like how everything has been working up until this point. So, this might be very informal to those people. So currently right now I am working on my channel and I don't exactly want to go into big projects, like for example the weapon review, until I actually have a nice solid layout of my like channel format. Because if I keep doing everything the way I've been doing, it just, I don't know, to me it feels kind of bland. I would like to liven it up a little bit more. And to those of you who are on Discord, you can definitely check out what I've been up to and just some possible ideas I have on there. So thank you all for watching. Thank you to all my patrons who are donating to me. I appreciate your guys' contribution. And if you haven't done so already, definitely join the Discord chat, because we're always talking, and whenever new stuff like this comes out, like new weapons, it's a really great network to fall back onto, because then everybody is talking to each other. Everybody's letting each other know, hey, this came out, that came out. I didn't even know until I went on there today and I saw people talking about grade 10 weapons. I'm like, oh, I didn't know there was new gear today. So yeah, this entire video today, imagine that whole weapon PSA gone because I didn't check. So it does a lot of good to be a part of the Discord chat. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. And I will see you guys next time.